Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Software Engineering Pathway. I'm Sam, and today we are shifting gears from the individual craft to the team strategy. We are diving into Knowledge 23, K23, principles of a range of development methods and approaches. If K21 was the map and K22 was your toolkit, K23 is the operating system for your team. It defines the rules of the game. How do we make decisions? How often do we release? Who tells us what to build? The concept I want you to adopt today is that there is no best method. Just like you wouldn't use rugby rules for a construction project, you wouldn't use Agile for every software project. Our goal is to understand the spectrum of methods, from the flexible Agile frameworks like Scrum and XP to the structured plan-driven methods like Waterfall and Prince2, and know exactly when to apply them. Let's decode the standard. K23 asks us to understand a range of methods and the contexts in which they apply. Think of this as a spectrum. On the left, we have predictive or plan-driven methods like Waterfall and Prince2. These value predictability. They are best when the requirements are fixed and the cost of failure is catastrophic, like building a nuclear power plant or flight control software. On the right, we have adaptive or agile methods like Scrum and extreme programming, XP. These value flexibility. They are best when requirements are unknown or likely to change, like building a new mobile app or a startup product. Your job as an engineer isn't to blindly follow one, it's to understand the trade-offs. Let's look at the oldest method, Waterfall. The principle is simple, it is sequential. Like a waterfall, you cannot flow upwards. You must finish requirements 100% before you start design. You finish design 100% before you start coding. The advantage? It's very easy to manage. You know exactly when you will finish and how much it will cost, in theory. The disadvantage? It is rigid. If you get to the testing phase and realize the users hate the design, it is too late. You have to go back to the top, which costs a fortune. Context. Use this for projects where requirements cannot change, like medical devices or banking migrations governed by strict laws. Now, the industry standard for most of us, Scrum. Scrum is an agile framework. The principle is iteration. Instead of building the whole thing at once, we build small, working pieces every 2 weeks in a cycle called a sprint. It has specific roles. The product owner defines what to build. The Scrum Master protects the process. The developers decide how to build it. It uses ceremonies like the daily stand-up to sync the team and the retrospective to improve the process. Context. This is perfect for products where we learn as we go. We release a feature, get user feedback, and adjust the plan for the next sprint. While Scrum focuses on management, extreme programming, XP, focuses on engineering. The principle here is to take good practices and dial them up to 11. If code reviews are good, we do pair programming, reviewing code continuously as we write it together. If testing is good, we do TDD, writing tests before the code. If integration is good, we do continuous integration, merging our code every few hours. XP produces incredibly high-quality software with very few bugs. However, it is intense. Context. Use this when quality is non-negotiable, or when the problem is so complex that one brain isn't enough to solve it. You might hear about Prince2. This stands for Projects in Controlled Environments. This is less about coding and more about governance. The core principle is business justification. A Prince2 project will be stopped if it stops making financial sense. It is highly structured with project boards and formal stages. Crucially, Prince2 is a wrapper. You can wrap a Prince2 governance layer around a Scrum technical team. The Scrum team builds the software, the Prince2 layer manages the budget and risk for the business. Context. You will see this in large government contracts or massive enterprise transformations. Finally, let's look at a specific approach, TDD, test-driven development. This reverses the normal way of working. Usually, you code, then test. In TDD, you follow the red-green refactor cycle. Red, you write a test for a function that doesn't exist. It fails. This proves the test works. Green, you write just enough code to pass the test. No more. Refactor, you clean up the messy code you just wrote, knowing the test will keep you safe. This isn't just about testing, it's a design tool. It forces you to think about how your code will be used before you write it. How does K23 apply to you? You live inside these methods every day. If your team uses Scrum, your K23 skill is estimating effort in story points and actively participating in the retrospective. If you work in a waterfall environment, your job is to write detailed technical specs so the next phase can proceed. If your team uses XP, you will be expected to pair program, sharing your screen and solving problems out loud. And if you use TDD, your first task is never write the function, it is write the test. Understanding which game you are playing helps you follow the right rules. Here is how you can apply K23 tomorrow. Action 1. Identify. Do you know what method your team uses? Ask your lead. Are we pure Scrum or something else? Knowing the name helps you research the rules. Action 2. Participate. If you are in Scrum, speak up in the stand-up. Don't just list tasks, list impediments. That is following the method. Action 3. Try TDD. Just once this week, for a simple helper function, write the test first. Watch it fail, then fix it. Take a screenshot of the fail and the pass. That is powerful evidence for your portfolio. For your portfolio, use STAR to show you understand the choice of method. Situation: we were building a prototype for a new client where requirements were vague and changing rapidly. Task: I needed to adopt a development approach that allowed for high flexibility. Action: I recommended using an Agile Scrum approach. I worked in short 2-week sprints to demonstrate progress. I also applied TDD principles to the core logic to ensure we could refactor safely as requirements changed. Result: we were able to pivot the design in Sprint 2 based on feedback, saving months of wasted effort. Reflection: I learned that a waterfall approach would have failed here, as we would have built the wrong thing before getting feedback. In your major project, you must have a section, usually in the introduction or analysis, called methodology. State clearly, I used an agile methodology. Then prove it. Include screenshots of your Kanban board, like Trello or Jira. Show your list of user stories. If you used Waterfall, show your Gantt chart. Crucially, justify your choice. I chose Agile because I needed to show the client progress every week. Don't just say the word, Agile. Show the evidence, the boards, the backlog, the sprints, that proves you work that way. Let's wrap up. We've learned that K23 is about the team's operating system. We explored the spectrum from predictive waterfall to adaptive agile. We looked at specific approaches like Scrum, XP, Prince2, and TDD. Your next step is to define your current project's methodology. Are you Scrumish? Are you Waterfall but with stand-ups? Write it down. In our next session, we will look at K24, where we learn how to interpret designs and handle the nightmare of legacy systems. Remember, there is no perfect method. The best method is the one that delivers value to your specific customer in your specific context. See you next time. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you now feel more confident in mastering this topic. If you found value in this session, I have a small favor to ask. Please hit that subscribe button, give this video a like, and follow our channel. It really means a lot to me and helps the algorithm show these lessons to other apprentices, just like you, who need support. Don't forget, you can download today's slides and the full transcript at www.mentorinai.com EPA Hub. While you are there, check out our mock interview and portfolio review services to make sure you are fully ready for your EPA. See you in the next video. Keep learning.